Hi everyone and welcome back to National League Lowdown with me, Dan. As you can see, I'm joined by my usual co-hosts this evening. Craig, how are you, mate? You okay?
Yeah, I'm very good, thanks, mate. Looking forward to diving into the FA Cup today and just seeing if there's any shocks coming on the way. But potentially we're going to try and predict a few, which I imagine will be very wide of the mark as per usual.
And I'm sure people in the comments will tell us how wrong we are because they always do. So I'm sure they will. Mark, how are you, mate? You okay?
Yes, aloha everybody. The magic of the FA Cup is upon us again. I've got my ticket for Saturday, which will be an interesting one. We'll cover that in a bit. But yes, people love it, people hate it, but you can't deny it's always there.
It's the magic of the FA Cup. I think maybe like the elite clubs maybe don't like it, but I think everybody else loves it because it always throws up stories and shocks and everything like that. But before we get into the FA Cup, we're going to quickly go over Tuesday night's game. Scunthorpe 3, Morecambe 1. Spirited display from Morecambe, but Scunthorpe bouncing back after their unbeaten run was ended by Carlisle at the weekend. Danny Whitehall free kick again, like we've mentioned. Incredible. Craig, how did you see this one, mate?
Yeah, Morecambe started the strongest and had some good chances. Obviously, Ben Tollett's currently playing through the middle as a number 9 for him. That's not his main position. So they're crying out, despite all their signings, probably for a recognised number 9 up there who could grab them a good couple of goals and maybe steer them away from trouble. But yeah, the game pretty much went as we expected. They missed a few chances. Scunthorpe didn't. Callum Roberts scored. Then that Whitehall free kick, as you've discussed. And then as Morecambe got one back, Scunthorpe saw the chance to just rotate, get Sellers Fleming on the pitch, and within minutes it made it 3-1, and it's probably job done. Gone very similar to how we expected, exactly how you'd called it, Dan. You called 3-1 in the predictions. So good result for Scunthorpe, and now they've only got the one more game to catch up on that Eastleigh one that was abandoned. Morecambe still a couple more to catch up on, and a little bit of work to do to get themselves out of that relegation zone as the season creeps by.
Yeah, I think what you said there is true as well. They need to have a real focal point up front and start scoring goals because, like we've said as well before, they're shipping goals left, right, and centre. So if you're going to be shipping them, you need to be scoring them at least to try and get something out of these games. Mark, what did you make of this game, mate?
Well, attacking sides basically, or one of them tried to be. You say Scunthorpe, they've got Callum Roberts, Danny Whitehall, who I've been bleating on about all season, how important they are to Scunthorpe, and just Roberts' creativity, Whitehall's goals. They've got Declan Howe, they brought in Sellers Fleming as well, so there's goals there. The Roberts goal, fantastic. Danny Whitehall's free kick, and again Sellers Fleming just comes off the bench, can score. Morecambe, on the other hand, playing Ben Tollett there. No. Much more effective on the wing. He's played there all his career. Keep him there. But for all this wanting to be the best footballing side in England, no. Go and play ugly. If you're gonna win games in this league, you've got to play ugly. You can keep the whole this is what we're going to do for fairy time stories, because that's all it is. It will be a fairy story. You've got to grind out results, and if you've got to go long route, go long route. And if you've got no striker, no recognised striker, as Craig rightly pointed out, then don't mess around when you're bottom of the table. Find a way. Even if some of the supporters don't like it, find a way to win. You can't live off, didn't we do well? As Bruce Forsyth said. But no, they've got to start to win ugly. Whereas Scunthorpe, wow, you pick yourself up after a very boisterous game on Saturday. I think you'll say yes to that, Dan. But yeah. But the cup should distract them. But if Morecambe losing this FA Cup, then get the feeling we might see some changes.
Maybe. I think it's just a sign of where football's at the moment. I think people rather have a manager that play fancy football and nice football that's easy on the eye than these managers that maybe adapt and just get results. Like we've seen a real change in the last few years, in my opinion. Of used to have the Sam Allardyces and the Tony Pulises of the world that would just win games 1-0. They wouldn't care if it went in off someone's backside or whatever. Whereas now it's like, let's go for the young hip coach that plays out from the back and wants to look pretty, but they'd rather get beat 5-0 than adapt and win 1-0. And it's just, like I say, I've seen it with Williamson at Brunton Park last season. He'd rather get beat 5-1 at home off Swindon than adapt and close up shop and try and get a result. It just, none of it makes sense to me. But
well, he is available now, so be careful what you wish for, Morecambe fans.
as long as he stays as far away from Carlisle as possible, I'm happy with that. Yeah. So, anyways, that's obviously it. But credit to Scunthorpe as well. Massive result for them just to bounce back, because we did say the same with Forest Green with their unbeaten run going as well. How do they react? And they reacted in the best way possible. So, massive credit to them. So, we're going to go on to our FA Cup ties. So, what we've done is we've all picked 3 games. And maybe ones that we think is going to be either a good game or there's going to be a bit of a shock on the cards. And we're going to just give you a bit of a rundown of them, and maybe a prediction at the end whether we think it's going to be a shock or no shock. We don't have to give an exact result maybe, but shock or no shock. Mark, I'll start with you, mate. What's your first game?
We've also let Mark talk about Macclesfield, guys, so stay tuned for the next 45 hours.
Get the popcorn.
Yeah, get a pot of coffee on, yes. And why not? And why not? Biggest tie in the FA Cup this weekend is Macclesfield versus Stamford AFC. Now, this is going to be the banana skin, because Stamford, they're in the Southern League Premier Central. How can you be Central in Southern? I'm not too sure, but there you are. And they haven't won a game. But it's the FA Cup. League form doesn't matter. I mean, at the moment, but it doesn't matter. We've laboured through wins against Atherton LR and Nantwich. We now face Stamford. One of our former players, Elliot Jarrell, now plays for Stamford, so he'll be hopefully getting a nice sort of hero's welcome back on the moss. He was part of John Askey's title-winning team when nobody gave us a hope. And for everybody who supported Rushden and Diamonds before they went bust, John Challoner, 45 years old, John Challoner still playing. So we've got, but anything can happen. I mean, I know their manager, Graham Drury, will be desperate to come and get a scalp, but Mac have laboured to the wins already. John Rooney will not want to fall victim to an FA Cup upset. Laboured, but I think we'll get there probably about 2 or 3-0.
Fingers crossed, but honestly, as soon as you said they haven't won a game all season, mate,
Exactly.
I just put my head in my hands, because you just know it's the FA Cup. You know this is going to happen. But we'll see. Craig, what was your first game, mate?
No problem. So my first game is Aveley versus Gateshead. Now, how Aveley and Gateshead end up in the same side of the regionalised draw, I say is anyone's guess, but it was due to who Gateshead played in the last round being more Midlands based and going to a replay to the draw coming before that. They got relegated from the National League South last season. They've had a change in manager after lots of success under Danny Scopes. They got promoted in the 22-23 and to the National League South. Then they were surprise package and managed to reach the playoffs last season before resources budget unfortunately caught up with them, and they got relegated out of the National League South back to I can never say this word, Itchman Prem, I think it is. Mark, is that correct how you say it? Itchmian, thank you. I can never say
not
it.
It's I-S, not itch.
We know what you mean, Craig. Don't worry. We know what you mean.
I've never been able to say it for years. Never been able to say it. I was hoping it was going to go back to the Ryman League because I could say that one.
Oh, there's the title.
But yeah, in the FA Cup so far, they've beat #United. Then they went away to Sudbury and beat them 2-1. And then, as we said, they beat I can never say these words. Houseoven. We'll go with that. We'll get corrected on the pronunciation, I'm sure. After drawing away, they managed to beat them 1-0 away to get this tie against Gateshead. Now, for me, the travel for Gateshead suits them to a degree on going this way. Thank God it's not the other way around for poor part-time Aveley having to go all the way to Gateshead. But with it being such a long distance, I do fancy that Aveley will be bang up for this, a chance to get into the first round of the FA Cup. And I do think a shock may be on the cards, but I'm not going for a full shock. I'm going for a replay because we do get them still in the fourth qualifying round. They're not completely dispelled from the FA Cup. And then Gateshead comfortable win at home.
Yeah, I mean, so again, it could be there was a few tongue twisters in there, but we got there in the end. Again, I can never pronounce that league either, so I'm with you on that, Craig. So my first game is Dorking Aldershot. Now, we've spoken at length about Aldershot and the form they're in. You know, I do have it jotted down here just to hammer it home. So they've got 1 win in 9. They haven't won in the last 4. They're struggling for goals. They're dropping down the league table. Dorking have kind of found some form. I'm just looking here now. So Dorking now are unbeaten in the last 6, just outside the playoffs. With our friend Alfie Rutherford that we had on the podcast with us, me and Mark. He's got 6 goals so far this season. They got through the last round, a replay against Salisbury, which, again, it was a replay, so they've done well there. Took them back home, beat them 4-2. And in the first round, they beat Wingate and Finchley 7-2. So, close game, but they got there in the end. But yeah, they're in... Yeah, they're in good nick, and I really do think that Aldershot are struggling, and this is not a game that you want. I know they're in the National League South, they're in the league below, but if there's ever a nailed on upset, I think it might be this one. I've got another one I think that's nailed on as well, but again, it'll probably be 4-0 Aldershot after I say all this stuff, so clip this up, guys, if you want. But yeah, I think Aldershot will struggle. They do have quality, but the goals have dried up. We talked about Aldershot at the start of the season, where every game was 3-2, 4-1, 5-1, but like they're still conceding, but they're not scoring now, and that's a massive issue, massive issue. And like we've just established there, Dorking scored 4 in the second round. And then the first round against they scored 7, so they're not shy of scoring goals. They've got Alfie up front. I'm going for shock, and I'm going for a comfortable shock, maybe 2-0. I would say in this one, 2-0 Dorking. So like I say, clip this up. It'll be 4-0 Aldershot now, but you know we'll see. Mark, what's your second game, mate?
Well, we've been quoting Gorilla Monsoon quite a lot. The irresistible force meeting the immovable object. It's Rochdale versus York. Oh boy, where'd you go? Who's going to blink first in this one? They can take the distraction of the league away from them. They'll want a good cut run, get that TV money in, show exactly what they can do. But this, oh goodness gracious! I mean, there must have been a few groans from each side when this draw got made, because somebody's going to get beaten and nobody's going to like it. I mean, we've seen some of their rather interesting fans on social media, so yeah, interesting's a word for them. Come at me, I really don't care. But as I say, it's going to be a question of who will blink first. I don't think anybody's going to blink on Saturday. This will go to a replay, and I'm not even sure who would win that. I smell penalties.
Yeah, I think with both sides, when I looked at this, I thought whoever loses have got that valid excuse, which I was going to bring up in my next game anyways, that you could be like, if they get knocked out, I will just concentrate on the league anyways. So I think some teams might use that. You know, considering some of the interaction we've had online with some of their fan bases, whichever one loses, it'll just be, we're going to win the league anyways, so it doesn't matter kind of thing. I think we might get that kind of response.
Until Forest Green do that, yeah.
But yeah, I think this could be the tie of the round, and what Mark said there as well. I think, you know, when that came out the hat, I bet you both teams just looked at each other and went, "Oh my god, like what? How did this happen?" With all them teams that we've mentioned so far, all the teams that we haven't mentioned yet, and then they seem to have drawn each other. Definitely the tie of the round, and it should be an exciting watch for the fans. Craig,
Apart from Mac and Stamford.
Apart from Mac and Stamford, that's obviously the tie of the round.
Thank you.
Yeah, I stand corrected. I stand corrected. Craig,
So
what's
you
your
should.
second game, mate?
Yeah, my second game is Worthing versus Forest Green. It's a unique one. It's the Monday night game. It's under the lights. It's on the telly. It's on TNT Sports. Make it even more unique and quirky. Worthing don't have a manager at the moment because he's gone to Sutton, so they're on interims at the moment. They're very much a mixed bag in the National League South. They're 15th. They've won 3. They've drawn 3. They've lost 4. So they're very much just, you never know what you're going to get. But what you do know is they're a ball-playing side. They were under Hinchelwood. They have been under every manager since. They're a ball-playing side. They want to play. They've got an artificial pitch there. All of those things. And it just makes me think, can they get something from this game? Forest Green, as you two just conspired, have they got thoughts solely on the league? Will they rotate to get some players in? Although obviously he does discuss that he does rotate quite heavily in the league. He does use all 22 players quite frequently, but will there be a little bit of rotation, some youth in there? It's got the potential for an upset. Worthing's run so far, they had a replay in the second qualifying round. They had to go to Jersey. Had to obviously, I think they got a boat or a plane over to Jersey. Slightly new, unique situation for an FA Cup game. They drew 2-2 there before winning quite comfortably in the replay. And then they beat Wimborne in the last round before this draw against Forest Green came out. For me, I'm still going to back Forest Green on this one. But if I saw on Monday night while I'm watching it or doing other things that Worthing have gone 1-0 up, 2-0 up, it wouldn't overly surprise me. But I think eventually Forest Green's quality will show through. So I'm going no shock.
Yeah, I agree. Again, it's one of them games. I think it could be another good game because, like I said, both teams are fixated on playing a good way of football and generally do. So it could be a bit of a battle of wits, maybe a close game. But yeah, I kind of agree. I think Forest Green might have too much quality as well. But so next game, talking of teams, that might have an excuse if they decide to lose this game. Carlisle versus Boston. If Boston turn up, I'm just going to come on here next week and say, well, we're concentrating on the league anyways, lads, so it's fine. No, I'm joking. But yeah, so Boston, we talked about them at length anyways, but they're on a good run at the minute, unbeaten in the last 4. They've really steadied the ship after a bit of a mixed start for them. But they've got some really good players, and I know we talked about the way they finished last season as well. But like they can really get on a good run, so they're coming probably at the worst time so far this season. If Carlisle were going to play them, they don't really want to be playing them right now when they're kind of confident and doing well. They've got players there's one player that always stands out to me, anyways, because of his name, but he's got a knack really of scoring against Carlisle as well, which is Linnell John Lewis. He always scores again. He always scores against Carlisle, always. So I wouldn't be surprised if he pops up on Saturday and scores. I've been doing a bit of scouting for my blog that I do, and some of the players that they've got. They've got a young lad, Matty Carson, down the wing for them. He's been getting assists pretty much every week over the last couple of weeks when they've been doing well. He could be another one to watch out for. Depending, I think Carlisle-wise, I think Mark Hughes probably will rotate. Josh Grant's impressed off the subs bench the last couple of weeks. He might get the nod ahead of Jack Ellis. Might be a few chops and changes. Luamba's probably not going to play because of the concussion, so he might bring Adjuboy back in. Kelly or Armstrong, it's a bit of a coin flip at the minute as to who's going to come in. He might rest Linney. He might not rest Linney. I don't know. Depends how seriously he wants to take it. I'm going to go no shock, but I think it'll be a close game. So I'm going to go 2-1 Carlisle. But similar to what Craig said, if I'm there Saturday and I see it and Boston play well and we don't necessarily turn up and we get beat 1-0 and John Lewis scores the winner, I'll be like, well, it is what it is. And I'll be like, oh yeah, well, we'll concentrate on the league anyways, so it's fine. But no, I think it could be another good game because, like I say, Boston are in good form. Carlisle have had back-to-back wins as well. So it could be two good sides going at it, which will be a good watch for me on Saturday. Mark, what's your final game that you chose?
And it's shock time. Altrincham versus Harborough Town. Harborough have had a very, very good qualifying campaign. They've got quite the team. You'd be surprised that they signed 2 Brackley players in the summer, George Carlisle and Danny Newton. That was very eyebrow raising. And it's signings like that. They're top of the Southern Premier League Central. There's that league again. Well, they've got ex-Mac midfielder Ben Stevens, who is he's such a good player. He was a good player when Macclesfield Town were in existence. He still has the potential to go higher. I don't care how old he is. I think he's about 25, 26 now, but he's such a good player. And we talked about John Challoner at 45, Liam Dolman, if anybody from Northampton and Rushden remember him, he's 38 years old and built like a brick outhouse. You know, he's been getting a lot of stick because of that for some odd reason, but he's doing something right because still playing at 38, an absolute man mountain, and he'll relish going up against James Gale or Billy Waters, who Altrincham signed on loan from Oldham last week. But Altrincham, they badly need a distraction from the league because they are right in it up to their necks. Yeah, not that I'm enjoying it or anything, but yes, I am. But they need to pick themselves up, and an FA Cup win for Altrincham could do that, but it's not going to happen. Harborough, I'm tipping them to knock Altrincham out on Saturday.
Didn't Harborough play Reading last year? Didn't they get into
They
the first
did,
round
yes.
Reading?
And also for all you Premier League monkeys out there, they had Sandro, who used to play for Tottenham and West Brom. He's not there anymore, but practically with the quality that they've got, when you can attract George Carlin, who was the National League North right back he was the right back in the team of the year. When you can attract players like that, then you're going places. So, and I think they'll be going into the first round of the FA Cup. There is my shock.
I'm muted. I was muted there. Sorry, people would enjoy that. To be fair, they'd be like, "Oh, finally, someone shut him up." But yeah, I think with Altrincham as well, similar to Aldershot, we've mentioned about them. Their form's dire at the moment. So again, I can get behind that, Mark, totally. Craig, what's your final game?
Yeah, so I've just had the last game of the weekend. I'm now going for the first game of the weekend, and this is Farnborough Town versus Sutton, also on TV, although I believe it's on the iPlayer, but obviously fairly easy access to that these days.
Is it Farnham, isn't it?
Farnham, sorry, Farnham. I do apologize. It's because Braintree are playing Farnborough. I got them in my head. I do apologize. Farnham Town versus Sutton. Farnham are riding a train at the moment. They've got back-to-back promotions from Step 5 to Step 4, now into Step 3. They're in the Southern League South at the moment, not the Southern League Central, which becomes Mark's favourite league. They're in the Southern League South.
The Southern League South.
They're sitting 4th after 9 games. They've won 4 and they've drawn 5. So they're unbeaten in the league. They've beat Erith Town, Burgess Hill Town and Dorchester in the Cup so far. All fairly convincingly as well, and they're in good form. And Farnham Town seem to be that kind of really exciting team. I don't know if you saw a few weeks ago that Peter Crouch was the mascot for them.
Seen that.
due to the punishments from his pod and the predictions. So maybe something for
don't
one
get
of
any
us.
ideas, Caps. Don't get any ideas.
Future reference there. But no, they seem to have nailed the fans' experience there. It seems they get really good crowds. They're increasing all the time. They've got the feel-good factor with winning games, which ultimately is the most important thing. They're winning games. But people are walking out there, regardless of the result, very happy because there's a good buzz around the club. There's a fantastic match day atmosphere. There's chances for fans to win stuff. They've bought into non-league, and the chairman at the moment, I believe he's about 30 years old. He's a social media man. He's made a lot of his money off that, and he's pumped it into Farnham Town, and now they're becoming probably bigger than the likes of hashtag online, and maybe get into the stages of Dorking in that popularity. So they're definitely one to watch. On the flip side, the team they're playing against is a team that's really struggling with form. Haven't won since beating Carlisle many games ago now. They've changed their manager. He's obviously only had the one game, the 0-0 draw at Braintree. So will he put all his eggs in the league basket? Will he rotate here to have a look at more players? Will he put a full strength squad out to see how it's going to go and spend more time with his philosophy and the way they want him to play? And game time will always help that. And for me, this just screams this could be a shock. I'm going to back Farnham here. I'm going to back them 2-0.
Yeah, again, can get behind it with the form Sutton's in.
That's
You
Farnham,
think it...
not Farnborough. I apologise for that at the start.
It's all right. Yeah, it's because you're going on a Farnborough podcast after this, aren't you, to talk about the Braintree game? So I get it, mate. But I thought I'd just let you know there before you went any further. But yeah, so my next game, I think this is a nailed on upset. I'll be this one. This is the one that I will be surprised at if the favourite, a higher up team wins. Gainsborough versus Hartlepool. So just on Hartlepool, again, we've touched on it on the pod in recent weeks. One win in 10. Simon Grayson under pressure. Fans aren't happy. They weren't conceding goals at the start of the season, and they were winning games maybe 1-0 scrappy. Now they're conceding, but the goals still aren't there. Alex Reid's been out injured, so it's like, where's the goals coming from in his absence? We talked about Danny Johnson, people like that, but they just can't seem to get firing. The goalkeeper got injured, Cartwright. He's had to go back to his parent club now. So again, just seems a bit of a mess to me. Gainsborough, on the other hand, I've just been looking there at their form and everything. So a couple of players that stood out to me just on like scoring wise. We talked about him last week. Johnny Margits. He's obviously banging them in. Yeah, experienced. I know him more from Football Manager and things like that, but scores a lot of goals. Javel Clark scored a lot in the FA Cup so far for them as well. They're in the playoff places in the Northern Premier League. I don't have to worry about the Southern Central or the Southern South or whatever it is. Northern Premier League, that's with like local teams to me like Workington and people like that. They're in there. They're sat in 5th place at the moment. They've only lost once since mid-August. And you think how quick the games have come, and that's including the cup and everything. They've only lost one game since mid-August. The home form's very strong. I really do think this could be maybe even Simon Grayson's last game in charge. I do have that much of a concern for Hartlepool. Again, they could pull it out the bag, but to me, I'm gonna go maybe not comfortable, maybe 2-1 Gainsborough. Like I say, their home form, they've got experience, they've got quality, they've got goals. In the previous rounds, I'm just looking now, they beat Rushall Olympic 2-1, they beat Dunstan 2-1, and then they beat Shinful Town 3-2. So they've got through, but not necessarily convincing, but they've got there. They've got through. No replays needed or anything. And like I said, the only game they've lost since mid-August was against Hensford, where they lost 2-0. And that was away from home. So, like I say, the home form's very strong. And yeah, I'd be very surprised if Hartlepool go there and get a result. Hartlepool could potentially, maybe get a replay, beat them at their place type thing. But yeah, I'm going to go 2-0 Gainsborough in this one. And again, it might be a little bit of a shock, but not a massive one, in my opinion. So that's the games we picked. Obviously, we picked some upsets. We picked some standout ties. I'm going to read out the rest of the games. But what we're going to do is we're going to go between the three of us and just say whether it's going to be a shock or no shock. It doesn't have, we don't have to give an exact prediction or anything like that. Just, there's certain games in there where you look and you go, could it be a shock? Could it not be a shock? So first up, we've got AFC Tottenham against Truro. Mark, Truro's your second team. Do you think Truro get on the receiving end of a shock there?
No, but only just.
Craig?
Shock.
Yeah, shock for me as well. That was nearly one of my games that I picked. I nearly gave up the Carlisle game and picked that one.
Philistines.
I mean, this one's kind of a bit more even matched, so it might not be shock or shock, but we'll just pick a team that we think might win. We've got Banbury versus St Albans. Mark?
St Albans got relegated last season, but they're a strong one, so I'd say no shock, St Albans to go through.
Yeah, same here. St Albans for me. Craig?
St Albans at home in a replay.
Again, I could see a draw. I thought we were all going to be unanimous there, but that never happens. So I'm pleased with that. Next, we've got one of the games, the games of the day here. We've got Braintree Farnborough. I'll go first. Shock. No, I'm joking. Braintree to win. Braintree to win this one. Craig.
Yeah, looking like we're going to have a bit more of a squad this week. Players seem to be coming back from injury. I think we've got to take the FA Cup very seriously. Home win, just.
Yeah.
Not pretty, but just.
Mark.
Yep, definitely an ugly win for Braintree.
Yeah. Chelmsford versus Chippenham. Craig.
Home win.
Yeah. Home win for me as well. Mark.
Yeah, home win.
Oh wow, unanimous. Congratulations to Chippenham for making the first round.
Yeah, well done, yeah.
Yeah, well done, guys. Well done. Darlington versus Telford. Craig.
I don't know much about these two teams, but I had a good success with Darlington on Football Manager 1 year, so Darlington to win.
I've got a lot of happy memories of Darlington away with Carlisle a couple of times, so I'll go Darlington as well. Mark.
Well, Mac have already played Darlington already this season. We've yet to play Telford. It'll be a draw, and then I should think Darlington will get the replay result.
Next, right, we're back on to potential shocks now. So we've got Eastbourne versus Boreham Wood. Could Boreham Wood rest people, be focusing on the league after the good start potentially? I'm going Boreham Wood win anyways. I'm going no shock, but it could be. Mark.
Yeah, no shock here. The good work is going to continue under Luke Garrett, and he was the Enterprise National League Manager of the Month. So congratulations to him. And yes, the good work continues. Boreham Wood to go through.
Yeah, Craig.
Eastbourne, no wins in the league, no manager, no FA Cup run. Boreham would win.
Yeah, well, I know when I looked that up earlier, I looked up they hadn't won a game and the manager had just left and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, I can't see this happening. Next, we've got another one that could be a bit of a shocker, which could be Ebbsfleet against Solihull Moors. Craig?
Yeah, two teams that were in the same league last season. Ebbsfleet obviously struggled in the National League last season. Got it together a little bit more in the National League South this year, and I think they're going to do it. I'm going to go Ebbsfleet win.
Yeah, I've got shock Ebbsfleet win as well, even though it might just be a minor shock, but obviously higher and lower division, so a bit of a shock. Mark?
Going to be a replay. It's going to be a replay, and then Chris Millington can really sort his squad out in that replay. So Solihull after a draw.
Next, we've got Hampton and Richmond against Eastleigh. Again, could this be a shock? Mark?
Could be, but I don't think it will be. It's not going to be easy for though. Eastleigh will go through, but only just.
Yeah, I've got this down. I think this could go to a replay potentially, maybe a draw, and then Eastleigh beat them in the home game. Craig?
Exactly the same as that. Eastleigh in the replay.
Yeah. Next, we've got Hemel Hempstead against Yeovil. Craig, what have you got for this one?
Shock.
Yeah, shock for me as well. Again, another game that I'll look closely at whether I was going to pick it or not. Mark?
Well, they beat Hereford in the last round, Hemel Hempstead, and I don't see why that can't continue. I'm going for a shock too.
Oh, unanimous shock. Oh, Ethan's not going to like us,
Nice.
lads, at all. Ethan's not going to like us at all. Next, we've got Malden and Tiptree versus Flackwell, which they sound, coming from a northerner, they sound really posh places, really nice places to visit and maybe go there on holiday. I don't know quite a lot about them as a football team, so I'm just going to go with a draw here because I don't know. So it's the safest way to go. Craig?
Malden and Tiptree just 20 minutes from here, Dan.
Can't be that posh then.
Had a big, all right, mate. They've had a big takeover by the Druitt Barlow family. If you haven't heard about them, check them out on social media. They've got Gary Hooper and Freddie Sears up front, Malden and Tiptree, and I'm backing them for the first round here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, now I know that. I've changed my prediction. I'm going for them to win. You can't have Gary Hooper up front and he's not going to bang goals in. Jesus. Mark?
Malden and Tiptree all the way, because Tiptree makes some of the best jam in the country as well. Very
That is
nice
true.
factory, but yeah, mwah. On a footballing sense, Malden and Tiptree are going to get there first time.
Right. We'll go for it because we've still got a few to do. So what we'll do is we'll just literally pick a winner and that's it. Instead of, because we're talking about jam now and posh places to visit on holiday, we're just going off on a tangent now, guys. So we'll just crack
People
on.
want
So
one.
yeah. So Morecambe, Chester. I'm gonna go for a Morecambe win, but just Craig,
Morecambe win, quite comfortable. It's going to click for them in the cup.
Mark.
Chester.
Okay. Runcorn Linnet versus Buxton. Mark.
Oh, right up my street this is, and I do fancy another upset. Runcorn Linnets to beat them.
Yeah. Runcorn for me as well. Craig.
Buxton in a replay.
Good shout. Good shout. Next we've got Scunthorpe against Kings Lynn. To me this looks like a home banker. So yeah, Scunthorpe for me. Craig.
Absolutely the same. Scunthorpe for me.
Mark.
Scunthorpe 2.
Yeah, I thought that'd be unanimous. Slough versus Enfield Town. Craig.
Slough.
Yeah, Slough for me as well. Mark.
Enfield.
Okay. South Shields versus Spalding United. I hope I pronounced that right. Craig.
Yes. Spalding probably had the upset of the last round when they knocked out Dagenham and Redbridge, but I think this is where it ends for them. I'm afraid.
Yeah, South Shields for me as well. They've got Kedwin Scott up front for them, who's played for us, so they'll score, I'm sure. Mark.
Yep, South Shields, top of the National League North. They've got Paul Blackett as well as Kedwin Scott. Yeah, South Shields all the way.
Yeah. Southend versus Folkestone. Mark.
Oh, Southend.
Yeah. Southend. Craig.
Yeah, too big of a gap for a shock. Southend.
Yeah. Southport Halifax. Mark.
Going to go Halifax, Southport, bottom of the National League North, and not really doing anything. And Halifax on a roll. Adam Lakeland, you're doing well, kid.
Yeah, Halifax are on fire at the minute. I can't expect that to continue. Craig.
Yeah, fully agree with everything said.
Yeah. Next, we've got Spennymoor against Billericay. Mark, I'll come to you.
Yeah, going to go Spennymoor. Billericay won't enjoy the travel up there, and Spennymoor will feed off that. So yeah, Spennymoor to go through.
I was just thinking that's another one that's a bit of a trek, isn't it? It's another one that's a bit of a trek.
I think it's another one that was because of the replays.
Yeah, I was going to say Spennymoor's northeast, isn't it?
Teams,
yeah,
yeah,
strange.
Yeah, it was the Midlands teams that they were playing, and the Midlands teams turned out to be the drizzling, you know what. So.
Craig.
Spennymoor.
Yeah, Spennymoor for me as well. Next, we've got Tamworth versus Hyde. I'll go Tamworth in this one. Craig.
Yeah, Tamworth keep going in the FA Cup. They're beginning to love this competition.
Yeah. Mark?
Yeah, Tamworth, Hyde have got a new manager with Martin Coyne, but yeah, Tamworth will have just that little bit more quality. So Tamworth to go through.
Yeah. Next, we've got Tunbridge against Chatham. I hope I pronounced that right as well. I'll go Tunbridge for this one. Craig?
Tunbridge Angels all the way on this one for me.
Mark?
Gotta go with the Angels, baby.
To be honest, I was half expecting a Robbie Williams song there from you, mate, but
you'll be waiting a long time.
Next, we've got Wealdstone against Whitstable. Again, hope I pronounced that right. Don't come at me. Whitstable. Sounds quite cool, to be fair. I think Wealdstone beat them here. Craig?
Yeah, Wealdstone into round one for me.
Mark?
Wealdstone after a replay.
could happen. Weston-super-Mare versus Needham Market. Again, two very nice places, they sound like. A long way away from me, I'm assuming. Craig?
Yeah, Weston-super-Mare for me on this one. I think it's quite a journey for Needham Market, so I'm back in Weston.
Yeah. Yeah, same for me. Home win. Mark?
Took my first donkey ride down at Weston-super-Mare as a child many years ago. So, yeah, Weston-super-Mare for me.
And then last but not least is an all National League tie, which is a bit more up the podcast street here. We've got Dorking versus Brackley. To be honest, this went under the radar. I didn't notice this one till I was having a look before. So I think this could be an interesting one. I'm going to go for a replay and then a Brackley win in a replay. Craig?
Home win, Woking.
Mark?
You've taken away my prediction there, Dan, because, yeah, replay then Brackley win, because we don't call them dry toes for nothing.
Yeah, I just, if it was the other way around, and Brackley were at home, I would have went for a Brackley win. So I think that's only fair. But yeah, obviously that's it. We're doing a bit of an FA Cup preview there. Covered as many games as possible. Obviously, there's some teams in there we don't know a lot about, so we kind of just went past it, just gave a few predictions here and there. Let us know your predictions, like I said as well. Keep liking, subscribing, and following the podcast on all our platforms, because with you guys doing that, we can get more exciting guests, more exciting topics. Get in the comments, let us know what you want us to talk about as well. And yeah, we appreciate all the comments and all the likes. And yeah, keep watching.
Can we congratulate Manny D on getting Player of the Month as well? We say congratulations to Luke Garrett. Manny D, one day we will call you by your full name, I promise you. It's rather rude just calling you Manny D. But yeah, congratulations, goal scorer of the month and Player of the Month.
Yeah, you know what? He loves being called Manny D. His Twitter handle's Manny D as well. He loves it. But if we're going to call him his full name, we'll do it when we have him as a guest on the podcast, hopefully, down the line. Because we all know I'm kind of vice chairman of the Manny D fan club. So hopefully we can get him on at some point.
And it's because he can actually pronounce it there and then, so we don't look, complete and utter tools now, will we?
Not complete and utter ones, no, of course not. But yeah, thanks to Craig and Mark for joining me as always. Love talking FA Cup. Nice distraction for everyone from the league and everything. But yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us as well. And like I say, get in the comments and let us know what you want us to talk about. But yeah, we'll catch you all again soon. Take care.